me is Cadet Second Class Garrett Curtin from the Cadet Squadron 24. We will be your narrators for today's parade. On behalf of Lieutenant General Richard Clark, the Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy, Brigadier General Gavin Marks, the Commandant of Cadets, and Cadet Colonel Haley Kim, the Summer Cadet Wing Commander, we would like to welcome you to the Class of 2027's Acceptance Day Parade. Today's special events will include the Class of 1977 presenting contrails and awards to the Class of 2027's 8 outstanding basic cadets, the symbolic acceptance of the Class of 2027 as 4th class cadets into the Cadet Wing, affirmation of the Cadet Honor Oath by the entire Cadet Wing, and a change of command from summer to fall semester leadership. In keeping with the conduct of this ceremony, it is our desire to maintain an atmosphere of dignity and respect. Because this morning's ceremony is outdoors, military members in uniform are reminded to stand at attention and render a salute during the playing of honors and the national anthem. During the national anthem, veterans and military members not in uniform may place their right hand over their heart or render the hand salute. It is appropriate for all others to stand and place their right hand over their heart. To assist everyone's participation in today's ceremony, we will inform you when to stand and be seated. To maintain the proper decorum for events such as this, we ask that you silence all cell phones and electronic devices and remain quiet throughout the duration of the ceremony. Please be advised of our intent to discharge 4 volleys of 75mm howitzer cannon fire during today's parade. The howitzer cannon is located in the southeast corner of the parade field, and the direction of fire will be to the northeast. The first volley will be fired to signify the beginning of the parade and begin the cadet march on, and 3 volleys will be fired during the playing of the national anthem. Additionally, please be cautious when ascending and descending the bleachers. Please use handrails where available and watch for tripping, slipping, and falling hazards.
Entering from the right will be the United States Air Force Academy Cadet Wing. The wing includes over 4,000 men and women from all parts of the United States, American territories, and allied nations. In addition to our own cadets, you will notice different uniforms within the squadrons. These cadets are participating in exchange programs with each of our sister service academies, as well as military academies from several allied nations. As the cadet wing marches on, the individual flights of basic cadets, under the command of their flight commanders, will form up in front of the stands prior to their acceptance into the cadet wing. The Basic Cadet Training Commander, Cadet Colonel Sean O'Connell, from Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan, leads these cadets today. Other members of the BCT staff are Cadet Colonel Jackson Kaiser from Boston, Massachusetts, and Cadet Chief Master Sergeant Hannah Flew from San Antonio, Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention to the right as we begin today's march on with our first cannon fire. Thank you for your attention and enjoy today's parade.
Leading the wing onto the parade field is the Summer Cadet Wing Commander, Cadet Colonel Haley Kim from Nashville, Tennessee. Other members of the Summer Wing staff include Cadet Wing Deputy Commander, Cadet Colonel Joseph Toronto from Beijing, China. Cadet Wing Director of Operations, Cadet Colonel Dylan Marcel from St. Charles, Missouri. Following the Cadet Wing Commander and staff is the Cadet Wing Color Guard, led by Cadet Master Sergeant Blake Kilgore and the United States Air Force Academy Band, led by Colonel Michael Willen and Drum Major Senior Master Sergeant John Dawson. Next up is Group 1. The permanent party leadership for Group 1 is commanded by Colonel Artie Puri, and the group's senior enlisted leader is Senior Master Sergeant Stephen Wall. The leadership of each squadron are from Cadet Squadron 1, Air Officer Commanding Lieutenant Colonel Lyons, and Academy Military Trainers Master Sergeant Ricardo and Technical Sergeant Redley. From Cadet Squadron 2, Air Officer Commanding Major Babinger, and Academy Military Trainers Technical Sergeant Spencer and Technical Sergeant Golden. Cadet Squadron 3, Air Officer Commanding Major Hill, and Academy Military Trainers Master Sergeant Bilson and Technical Sergeant DeWeese. From Cadet Squadron 4, Air Officer Commanding Major Chalmers, and Academy Military Trainers Technical Sergeant Halstead and Technical Sergeant Carroll. From Cadet Squadron 5, Air Officer Commanding Major Bostic, and Academy Military Trainers Master Sergeant Donahue and Technical Sergeant Williams. From Cadet Squadron 6, Air Officer Commanding Major Strykowski, and Academy Military Trainers Master Sergeant Phillip and Technical Sergeant Eagle. From Cadet Squadron 7, Officer Commanding Major Cruz, and Academy Military Trainers Technical Sergeant Sanders and Technical Sergeant Bargo. From Cadet Squadron 8, Air Officer Commanding Major Alvarez, and Academy Military Trainer Technical Sergeant Sanders. From Cadet Squadron 9, Air Officer Commanding Major Montville, and Academy Military Trainers Master Sergeant Frank and Techno Sergeant Johnson, and Cadet Squadron 10, Air Officer Commanding Major Morton, and Academy Military Trainers Master Sergeant Camille.
Following Group 1 is Group 2, commanded by Colonel Brandon McBrayer. The group's senior enlisted leader is Master Sergeant Clarissa Hamilton. The leadership of each squadron are, for Cadet Squadron 11, Air Officer Commanding of the United States Army, Captain Chung, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Cerna and Technical Sergeant McArdle. For Cadet Squadron 12, Air Officer Commanding Major Theologus and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Arispe and Technical Sergeant Shepard. For Cadet Squadron 13, Air Officer Commanding Major Patel and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Canella and Technical Sergeant Jones. For Cadet Squadron 14, Air Officer Commanding of the United States Space Force, Major Caminero and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Vigil and Technical Sergeant Graff. For Cadet Squadron 15, Air Officer Commanding Major Dietrich and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Avery and Technical Sergeant Sanchez. For Cadet Squadron 16, Air Officer Commanding Major Collins and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Kosowski and Technical Sergeant Harmon. For Cadet Squadron 17, Air Officer Commanding Major Morris and Academy Military Trainers, Technical Sergeant Woodbury and Technical Sergeant Pachero. For Cadet Squadron 18, Air Officer Commanding Major Martel and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Treadaway and Technical Sergeant Sales. For Cadet Squadron 19, Air Officer Commanding Major Bose and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Salarda and Technical Sergeant Arabello. And for Cadet Squadron 20, Air Officer Commanding Major Pia and Academy Military Trainer, Technical Sergeant Lieberman.
Following Group 2 is Group 3, commanded by Colonel Mark Kaseka and the group's senior enlisted leader, who's Senior Master Sergeant Marcus Jones. The leadership of the squadrons are Cadet Squadron 21, Air Officer Commanding Major Morales, Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Apodaca and Technical Sergeant Kirkbride. Cadet Squadron 22, Air Officer Commanding Major Scott, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Miller and Technical Sergeant Stockbride. Cadet Squadron 23, Air Officer Commanding Major Jones, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Cavazos and Technical Sergeant Hoffman. Cadet Squadron 24, Air Officer Commanding Major Everett Iverson, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Ott and Technical Sergeant Salazar. Cadet Squadron 25, Air Officer Commanding Major Newman, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Powers and Technical Sergeant Schiff. Cadet Squadron 26, Air Officer Commanding Major Savage, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Mosley and Technical Sergeant Gilbert. Cadet Squadron 27, Air Officer Commanding Major Benton, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Fedorkowitz and Technical Sergeant Koga. Cadet Squadron 28, Air Officer Commanding Major Ott, and Academy Military Trainers, Technical Sergeant Dwyer. Cadet Squadron 29, Air Officer Commanding Major Pratt, and Academy Military Trainer, Master Sergeant McKinnon. Cadet Squadron 30, Air Officer Commanding Major Wheeler, and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Welcome and Technical Sergeant Grayson.
Lastly, following Group 3 is Group 4, commanded by Colonel Brandon Klausman. The group's senior enlisted leader is Senior Master Sergeant Dustin Eyre. The leadership of each of the squadrons are, for Cadet Squadron 31, Air Officer Commanding Major Ryder and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Hollings and Technical Sergeant Schmidt. For Cadet Squadron 32, Air Officer Commanding Major Hall and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Fenner and Technical Sergeant Pellet. For Cadet Squadron 33, Air Officer Commanding Major Pia and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Javiera and Technical Sergeant Cole. For Cadet Squadron 34, Air Officer Commanding Major Pollock and Academy Military Trainers, Technical Sergeant McClure and Technical Sergeant Marshall. For Cadet Squadron 35, Air Officer Commanding Major Vasta and Academy Military Trainer, Master Sergeant Cruz. For Cadet Squadron 36, Air Officer Commanding Major Vaught and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Landrum and Technical Sergeant Neubauer. For Cadet Squadron 37, Air Officer Commanding Major Go and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Ruiz and Technical Sergeant Howard. For Cadet Squadron 38, Air Officer Commanding Major Alexander and Academy Military Trainers, Technical Sergeant Schwann and Technical Sergeant Manuel. For Cadet Squadron 39, Air Officer Commanding Major Hughie and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Moreno Rojas and Technical Sergeant Jones. And for Cadet Squadron 40, Air Officer Commanding Major Anderson and Academy Military Trainers, Master Sergeant Griswold and Master Sergeant Miller.
Cadets' years at the Academy focus on the elements of USAFA's essence: character and leadership, exposure to the Air Force mission, immersion in the Air Force ethos and culture, a top-tier education, and competitive excellence, all on the shoulders of an exemplary installation. Their pathway to excellence is paved with responsibility, commitment, and maturity.
Developing agile and innovative airmen is essential to an Air Force driven by committed and inclusive leaders of character that embody the Air Force core values: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest speaker for today, a graduate of the USAFA class of 1977, Lieutenant Colonel John Michaels, United States Air Force, retired.
Good morning, General Clark, General Marks, General Lieutenant, and of course, the class of 2027. I'm going to follow the principles of effective time management this morning to use this welcoming opportunity to also answer the big question that I'm sure has been on your minds since you stepped off the bus at the base of the ramp. Is this all worth it? In fact, I suspect it's on your minds right now. To answer that question, I'm going to take you back 46 years to the summer of 1977 when I was a student at Navigator Training about to fly a simulator mission. This particular mission involved a high-speed, low-altitude bombing run, and the target for our scoring purposes was the Air Force Academy. The aim point for our simulated bombs was the center of the cadet area. As soon as the simulator started, I moved my crosshairs from the aim point from the cadet area to the commandant's office. A number of my classmates aimed at the dean's office over in Fairchild because, well, you know, experience is different. Nobody aimed for the chapel. One thing you learn here in 4 years is don't poke the bear. It will not surprise you to learn that the scores for that particular simulator mission were the highest of any of our simulator runs. Now, the point of this story, and I'm speaking to all of you, but mostly to 2027, is to let you know that there are going to be days here where you would like nothing more than to fly over this place and drop a bomb on it. And if you haven't experienced them already, those days are coming, and there's likely to be more than one or two of them. It's part of the process that you heard my classmate Steve Simon talk about on July 4th, and it's standard operating procedure. It's perfectly normal. Now, skip ahead 45 years to last fall in my class reunion. Now, I'm going to note that as individuals, my classmates and I are pretty much what you see here, grumpy old men wandering aimlessly around their communities. But together, in any type of group, we are members of the United States Air Force Academy class of 1977. We number among our members astronauts, rocket scientists, generals, software pioneers, science fiction authors, war heroes, and, well, spies. Walking into the ballroom where my classmates were gathered gave me, among other things, an immense sense of pride of being part of this august body, even as my own body isn't doing so hot. I'm damn proud of my classmates and their accomplishment, and that pride has stayed with us. It rides with us, if you will, as it will for you from the day you graduate going forward. There are many other feelings that attach to a gathering of your classmates, such as the understanding that you are all members of what I call the true 1%, the men and women who signed the unlimited liability clause of our agreements to serve our country. There's a mutual respect that comes from being forged in the same furnace, sharpened on the same stone, that every person you look at in that room has gone through the same firing and tempering. The knowledge that all of you were pushed hard and not found wanting. To paraphrase Norman MacLean, the great American author of The West, to know that you are part of a group who love the universe, but are not intimidated by it. And the affection that you have for each other, your brothers, and for you all, your sisters in arms. This is what you feel walking into a room with your classmates. I can tell you without exaggeration that for the 3 days of those reunions, that point in Colorado Springs is one of the happiest places on earth. And in the face of that, and many other similar experiences, those bomber days just fade away. So the answer to the big question is, hell yes, it's worth it. Now we've dealt with the big question, so after the parade, you can all move on. I'm going to leave you with words from your contrails that I trust you will not have to memorize but are found in 1977's Welcome to You. Trust in your talents, lean on your classmates, keep your sense of humor, and make the next 4 years your best. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Michaels, for those inspiring words. We would now like to announce and award the 8 outstanding basic cadets. They will accept their contrails and award flags from 8 members of the class of 1977. They represent every cadet from each of the 8 basic cadet training squadrons.
The outstanding basic cadets are, from the aggressors, Jacob R. Grayson. From the barbarians, Samuel E. Parson. From the Cobras, Brody T. Whitson. From the Demons, Zachary Harrison Quinto. From the Executioners, Brody M. Bueno. From the Flying Tigers, Nathan T. Good. From the Guts, Owen M. Heiser. And lastly, from the Hellcats, David M. Gonzalez.
Please join us in congratulating the 8 outstanding basics once more as they return to their squadrons. Please direct your attention to the parade field as we continue with the ceremony. Today's reviewing official is Lieutenant General Richard Clark, Superintendent of the United States Air Force Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of honors and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Be advised we will be firing 3 balls from our cannon during the anthem.
For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. Please be seated. At this time, the 4th class cadets are being accepted into the cadet wing. As the basic cadets take their place among the cadet wing, their class flag is now revealed beside those of the upper 3 classes.
Way to go, Rachel! Rachel! Way to go, Rachel! Way to go, 2027! Way to go, Chicken Hawks! Chicken Hawks!
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Cadet Wing Honor Chairman, Cadet Colonel Joshua Wodrick, to administer the honor oath to all cadets present today. It goes without saying that today's acceptance parade marks a significant step for the class of 2027. Today, you will take the United States Air Force Academy Cadet Wing Honor Oath. The honor oath is a requirement for membership into the Cadet Wing. However, you must remember that the oath goes far beyond just the words which comprise it. The honor code is a great tradition at the Academy, illustrated by the fact that the spirit of the code has remained unchanged since it was first accepted by the class of 1959. It is a way of life in the profession we have chosen. In itself, the honor oath represents an unwavering commitment to integrity, service, and excellence, the three core values of not only the Academy, but also the United States Air Force. Living honorably is a lifelong aspiration and a lifetime process. Your 4 years here at the Academy will provide you with a foundation and opportunity for your development as a leader of character. This development will be built upon throughout your career and lifetime. Therefore, this morning, the entire Cadet Wing will take this oath together to reaffirm our commitment to live up to the positive principles of honesty, respect, fairness, and accountability embodied by the oath. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask everyone to please stand as a sign of respect as I administer the honor oath to the Cadet Wing. Cadet Wing and Class of 2027. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. We will not lie, steal, or cheat, nor tolerate among us anyone who does. Furthermore, I resolve to do my duty and live honorably. So help me God.
As part of today's ceremony, you will witness the change of the Cadet Wing commanders. Brigadier General Gavin Marks, the Commandant of Cadets, will officiate the change of command. Although military warfare has changed throughout the centuries, the purpose of the change of command ceremony has not. The ceremony is traditionally conducted in front of the unit so all could see their new leader assuming their dutiful position. The person who held the unit flag also held the allegiance of their soldiers. At the Air Force Academy, the long-held tradition of the gold saber has been a symbol of the Cadet Wing Commander's authority and responsibility. Please remain standing for the change of command as the summer period ends and the fall academic semester begins. Cadet Colonel Haley Kim will relinquish command of the Cadet Wing to Cadet Colonel Isaac Bates, the Fall Wing Commander. Thank you. Please be seated. Now joining Brigadier General Gavin Marks on the reviewing pad is the United States Air Force Academy Superintendent, Lieutenant General Richard Clark, the Dean of Faculty, Brigadier General Linnell Latundra, the Vice Director of Athletics, Colonel Marcus Corbett, and our guest speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Michaels, United States Air Force, retired.
Patch review during today's parade serves two functions for the commander. It dismisses the troops in an organized manner and at the same time provides an opportunity to inspect the discipline and training. Please remain standing or seated until the colors begin to pass and during the playing of the Air Force song and the Space Force song, Semper Supra, performed by the United States Air Force Academy band at the end of the pass review, in which we remind all in attendance to stand and render the proper customs and courtesies. Now passing in review are the members of the Fall Semester Wing Staff under the command of the Commandant of Cadets, Brigadier General Gavin Marks. The wing is led today by the Cadet Wing Commander, Cadet Colonel Isaac Day from Hartford, Connecticut. Other members of his staff include the Deputy Wing Commander, Cadet Colonel Caroline Gavin from Jacksonville, Florida, and the Wing Director of Operations, Cadet Colonel Samuel Whitman from San Antonio, Texas. Following the wing staff is first group, under the command of their group commander, Cadet Colonel Cody Yu from Westchester, New York. Other members of group staff include the Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Hermes from Oaks, North Dakota, and the Group Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Madison Felker from Phoenix, Arizona. Following the first group staff are the squadrons. First up, Cadet Squadron 1, Mighty Mach 1, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas Gray from Bloomington, Indiana. Right on their tails is Cadet Squadron 2, Delta Tau Deuce, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Bryce Park from Centennial, Colorado. They've got that dog in them. It's Cadet Squadron 3, the Dogs of War, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Reed Pennington from Land O'Lakes, Florida.
Wolfpack!
Don't get on their bad side. It's Cadet Squadron 4, the Fighting Fourth, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Aaron Powers from Lakewood, Colorado. Beat 'em, it's Cadet Squadron 5, the Wolfpack, led by their Director of Operations, Cadet Major Ella Austin from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Raging across the field is Cadet Squadron 6, Bull 6, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Haley Barton of Bridgeport, Texas. Sneaking across the drill pad is Cadet Squadron 7, Shadow 7, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel William Belker of Pulaski, Wisconsin. Swooping down from their nest is Cadet Squadron 8, Eagle 8, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Holly Boudreaux from Clarksburg, Massachusetts. Up next is Cadet Squadron 9, Viking 9, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jackson King from Canton, Georgia. Straight out of the jungle is Cadet Squadron 10, Tiger 10, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Adrian Stanfield from Talon, Oregon.
Following first group is second group, under the command of their group commander, Cadet Colonel Austin Brown from Boyd's, Maryland. Other members of his staff include the Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Gentry Lamb from Shepherd, Montana, and the Senior Enlisted Leader, Cadet Chief Master Sergeant Renata Russell from Boise, Idaho. Following second group staff are the squadrons of second group. First up, Rebel 11, Cadet Squadron 11, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jay Thomason of Auburn, Alabama. Right after them is Cadet Squadron 12, the Dirty Dozen, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Luke Rowe from Roxbury, New Jersey. Following after them is Cadet Squadron 13, the Bulldogs, led today by their squadron commander, Lieutenant Colonel Luke Anderson from Woodland, Wyoming. Up next, it's Killer Cadet Squadron 14, the Cobras, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Caroline Caston of Yorktown, Virginia. Right after them is Cadet Squadron 15, the Mighty War Eagles, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Chance Roach of Santa Maria, California.
Hey, Garrett!
Coming up next is Cadet Squadron 16, the Proud Chicken Hawks, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Eric Joe of Bingham Farms, Michigan.
Woo! Go Chicken Hawk!
As a reminder, please stand as the colors begin to pass in front of you in the stands. Coming up next is Cadet Squadron 17, Stalwart 17, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Vegas Rohaley from Olympia, Washington. There'll be night riders for life. It's Cadet Squadron 18, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Braden Gabe of O'Fallon, Illinois. Flipping onto the drill pad now, it's Cadet Squadron 19, the Wolverines, led today by their squadron Lieutenant Colonel Dorothy of Lynn, Massachusetts. It's Cadet Squadron 20, the top 20. Lieutenant Colonel Gavin Sunderland of Fargo, North Dakota. Passing the officials is the Cadet Kilgore from Anaheim County.
Next up is third group, under the command of their group commander, Cadet Colonel Karen Kaczynski from Washington, D.C. Other members of group staff include the Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Abigail Cook from Blackstone, Massachusetts, and the Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jackson Asa from Tucson, Arizona. Following third group staff are the squadrons. Cadet Squadron 21, Blackjacks, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel John Vallejo, Oak Park, Illinois. Following closely behind is Cadet Squadron 22, the Raptors, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Shane Choi from Fort Worth, Texas. Storming across the field is Cadet Squadron 23, the Barnstormers, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Parra from St. George, Utah. It's the squad to be. It's Cadet Squadron 24, the Hardcore 2-4 Phantoms, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Abigail Worley of Dandridge, Tennessee. Up next is Cadet Squadron 25, Rock Hard Red Eye, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Benjamin Smalley of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Whoa, it's Cadet Squadron 26, the Barons, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Chase Martindale of Bluffton, South Carolina. Look to the sky. This is Cadet Squadron 27, the Fabulous Thunderbirds, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Blake Baldwin of Long Beach, California. Oh man, they're fast. It's Cadet Squadron 28, the Badass Blackbirds, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Grant Pierce. Coming all the way from Wakanda is Cadet Squadron 29, the Black Panthers, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Warren Asher of Palmdale, California. Grab some soap. It's Dirty Cadet Squadron 30, the Knights of 30, led by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kendall Moore of Portland, Oregon.
Following third group is fourth group under the command of their Deputy Group Commander, Cadet Colonel Holden Brosnan from Cardiff by the Sea, California. Other members of group staff include the Director of Operations, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Anna Davison from Cramerton, North Carolina, and the Standardization and Evaluation Officer, Cadet Major Nathan Ewell from Omaha, Nebraska. Following fourth group staff are the squadrons of fourth group. First up is Cadet Squadron 31, the Grim Reapers, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Elise Nerheim from Wadsworth, Illinois. Running out of the drill pad now is Cadet Squadron 32, the Roadrunners, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Annalise Weber from Morris Plains, New Jersey. Coming all the way from the cellar, it's Cadet Squadron 33, the King Rats, led today by their Director of Operations, Cadet Major Jacob Teresi from Gilbert, Iowa. Up next is Cadet Squadron 34, the Lizards, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Avila from Peoria, Arizona. It's huge, Cadet Squadron 35, the Wild Weasels, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Peyton Rawson of Lawrenceville, Georgia. They're proud in pink. It's Cadet Squadron 36, the Pink Panthers, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Smith from Medford, New Jersey. Up next is my favorite squadron, Cadet Squadron 37, the Animalistic Sky Raiders, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Patrick Jackson from Bernardsville, New Jersey. Up next is Cadet Squadron 38, the Almighty All-Stars, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kathleen Geyer from Thomasville, Georgia. The force is always with them. It's Cadet Squadron 39, the Jedi Knights, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Caitlin Koraleski from Denton, Texas. And rounding out your United States Air Force Academy Cadet Wing is Cadet Squadron 40, the Warhawks, led today by their squadron commander, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Burrow from St. Joseph, Michigan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the Space Force song. musical sport is being provided by the United States Air Force Academy Band, led by Colonel Michael Willard and drum major Senior Master Sergeant John Dawson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we congratulate and welcome the class of 2027 to the cadet wing. Friends and families of fourth-class cadets, are allowed to meet with their cadets during the shoulder board pin-on ceremony. This ceremony will take place on the parade field. Please refrain from disturbing other pin-on ceremonies. All cadets are to return back to your squadrons for your respective AOC time no later than 1300. In order to help you find your cadet, the squadrons are organized as follows. As you move from your left to your right to center are cadet squadrons 1 through 20. To the right of center are cadet squadrons 21 through 40. Authorized visiting hours are from now until 1300. At that time, we ask all escorted visitors to exit the cadet area. Fourth class cadets may not leave the installation. This concludes